That's what that said.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to our Oak Hill City Council meeting, March 9th, 2026. We will begin tonight with our invocation from Pastor Ken Krimmel of the Oak Hill United Methodist Church and our pledge of allegiance immediately.
Let us pray. Almighty and most merciful God, we come before your throne of grace on this beautiful evening in Oak Hill, acknowledging your presence here and everywhere. May you be honored and adored in this place and in every place where your presence is acknowledged. Pour out your Spirit upon the mayor of this great city, upon the council members who serve its residents, and upon all those who labor for the city of Oak Hill. Open our eyes, Lord, to see you in this beautiful community and in the faces of our neighbors. May we extend hospitality to all who visit here and do our part to welcome the stranger who comes into our midst. For the natural beauty all around us that draws people here from faraway places, we give you thanks, Creator God, and recognize the tremendous burden of responsibility laid upon us to care for the land, water, roads, bridges, and rails that make us the great city that we are. We pray your special blessings to be upon our servicemen and women, to watch over them, to keep them from all harm, even as we pray for peace on earth. And when they lay down their lives for our country, send your spirit of comfort to their brave families, we pray. Bless our police officers, firefighters, paramedics, and all other first responders who put the welfare of others before their own each and every day. Bless our leaders at every level in our nation, state, county, and city. Give wisdom to our president, governor, mayor, judges, and all others who serve the common good. Hear this prayer that we lift to you by faith. In the name of and for the sake of your blessed Son, our Savior and Lord, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. We'll now have our roll call by our clerk, Ms. Vaughn.
Mayor Charles Briscoe,
Here.
William Hanbass,
Here.
Dana Janey,
Here.
Terry Bay Busker,
Here.
Roger Evans,
Here.
Chris Gill,
Here.
PJ Elder,
Here.
and Tim Buskus.
Here.
Thank you. You all have read the minutes in your packets. May we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Mayor, I'll move that we accept the minutes as presented.
I second that
We
motion.
have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as read. All those in favor? All opposed? And we do the same for the treasurer's report. Do we have a motion to accept?
Mayor, I move to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept the treasurer's report as presented. All those in favor? All opposed? Thank you. We're going to vary just for a brief moment. One of our prominent businessmen has passed away and we have a proclamation. And Councilman Hanbass is going to step up to the podium and read it for you. Thank you.
Proclamation honoring the life and legacy of Donald Clyde Butch Elder. Whereas the city of Oak Hill mourns the passing of Butch Elder, a respected businessman, community member, and friend to many throughout Fayette County. And whereas Mr. Elder devoted much of his life to serving the public through the retail, grocery, and furniture business, operating and supporting several businesses that became fixtures in the local community, including Fayetteville IGA, Raynell IGA, Oak Hill IGA, Mount Hope IGA, B&B Furniture Mart, and most recently Country Corner in Oak Hill. And whereas through his entrepreneurial spirit and strong work ethic, Mr. Elder provided employment opportunities for countless residents while offering dependable service and friendly conversation to generations of customers. And whereas his businesses were more than places of commerce, they were gathering places where neighbors met, friendships were formed, and the spirit of small town West Virginia was strengthened. And whereas Mr. Elder's dedication to community life extended beyond normal business, as he and his wife Patsy faithfully served as members of the Oak Hill Church of the Nazarene, giving their time, hospitality, and kindness to the church family and community. And whereas Mr. Elder's legacy of hard work, generosity, faith, dedication to his family and community leaves a lasting impact on Oak Hill and the surrounding region. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and the city council of the city of Oak Hill, West Virginia, on behalf of its citizens, do hereby recognize and honor the life of Donald Clyde Butch Elder and express our sincere gratitude for his many years of business leadership, community service, and friendship to the people of Oak Hill. Be it further proclaimed that the city extends its deepest sympathy to his wife, Patricia Patsy Elder, his daughters, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and the members of the Elder family, and encourages the community to remember and celebrate the many ways Mr. Elder enriched the lives of others. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Oak Hill, West Virginia to be affixed this 9th day of March 2026. Mayor Charles Briscoe and City Manager Chris Meadows.
Thank you. We will now have correspondence. Do you have anything? Correspondence. We're moving on to citizen comments, and I believe Judge Sam Fox. Speak. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to everyone for welcoming me here tonight. For those of you that don't know me, although I know many of you, I'm a proud Oak Hill native. I graduated from Oak Hill High School in 1982. I grew up in East End Oak Hill, and I didn't realize this until after I was appointed to be the circuit court judge here in Fayette County. But I'm the first Oak Hill native in over 100 years to hold that seat. My father owned a small grocery store over on Virginia Street. Actually, Eddie Callahan hired my dad to manage that store. It used to be called Quickles, became Midget Market number 4. That my dad proudly owned and operated. After a couple of years, he bought it from Mr. Callahan, and he owned that grocery store up until his untimely death in 1983. My mother was a longtime employee at Plateau Medical Center. She worked in the medical records department there. And my sister, Sandy Fox Blackburn, married Gary Blackburn, and she was a lifelong employee of Merchants and Miners Bank, where she worked with Diane. So it's great to be back home here in Fayette County. As far as my legal practice is concerned, I practiced for 36 years, representing clients all over the state of West Virginia. I was what you call a civil trial attorney. I tried cases from Fayetteville up to Morgantown and from Huntington over to Martinsburg. And had a number of cases here in Fayette County. I represented Plateau Medical Center for most of my career. I also did work for Montgomery General Hospital, as well as the Fayette County Board of Education. So I actually was in Fayette County more than I was in Kanawha County. I was all over the state. So I don't want to take up too much of your time tonight, but I appreciate you guys welcoming me here. It's great to be back home. If y'all have any questions going forward about me or my candidacy in the May election, I appreciate you. Feel free to get a hold of me. I hope I have your support and your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Judge, I want you to know I was real heartbroken when those Quickles ice cream cones went from a nickel to a dime.
Actually, it wasn't Quickles. That was Garsh's
That was
ice cream
Garsh?
stand.
Oh, okay.
That was- So we didn't raise those prices. And we had those rotisserie chickens
Yes,
well ahead of the time.
smelled great.
Smelled great, and we had Palmer Miller down there doing our produce, and we had it, the produce and the meat department were pretty good there.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Well,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, moving on to unfinished business. First item is the planning commission recommendation to council for adoptions and amendments to chapter 15 of the Oakville Municipal Code. This is the second reading.
Is there any questions? We went over it last time, I believe, pretty well. Mr. Van Buskirk was on that committee that helped to establish that, and I think we discussed it at length. The LED signs are going to become more prevalent as we continue to go through, and everybody is adding these things in different areas. So we wanted to be sure that we had the opportunity to not discourage them, but regulate them so that they don't become overwhelming, especially when it comes to public safety.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we accept all amendments to the chapter 15 of the municipal code.
I accept, or make the second that motion.
We have a motion and a second that we accept all the amendments to chapter 15 of the Oakville Code. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is carried. That was the second reading. Item number 2, 2015 and 2018 are current amendments to item 11-18-010 related to the International Building Code, International Engineering Conservation Code, Plumbing Code, Mechanical Code, Residential Code, American National Standards, National Electric Code, International Swimming Pool Code. This is second reading of this as well.
And yes, once again, we're bringing this before council because we want to make sure that we continue to use the most current version of the code. We currently passed the 2018 code. There's 2024 out there, so we want to be sure that instead of just bringing this back to you guys every time we update it, that the new ordinance basically says that we will adopt the new code and any continued amendments, any updates. So we want to be as compliant as possible with the building code. They're the ones that know how things need to be built, and we're going to try and make sure that continued construction in Oak Hill is built to that code.
May we have a motion to accept the changes?
Motion to accept the building code.
You have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the current changes and the further advancing changes, excuse me. All those in favor? All opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you. Now we'll have a budget update for fiscal year 2026 and 2027.
Okay, so we have a balanced budget that we're presenting of $5,899,991. The budget includes a 3% increase for the employees. It when we look a little bit at the revenue side, we got figures from the county that says that they're expecting to get $972 in property taxes, which is less than we've received already this year. So I'm wondering if if we maybe put put the money in the wrong category there, because that doesn't seem right to me. But anyway, this is from their totals is what they're saying we're gonna get. The only major change that I made on that was I went back and revised the hotel occupancy tax, because I think when I originally presented it to you, I wasn't counting in the fact that we had already received 218,000 this year in hotel motel tax. And, that was just for half, that 117, and we only figured 117 for half a year. And I hadn't figured that in because last year we got 218. So I figure if we do get the, new hotel on Oil open, honestly, that number's gonna be blown out a lot. But, we'll have to go back and revise that if they get open, because they'll have to rental tax, we wait through that. Things that are included in the budget, there's $250,000 included for paving,
How much? I'm sorry.
$250,000 for paving.
I'll just make the comment that that's probably, in my one opinion, that's probably not going to sustain the paving program for the city of Oak Hill.
Okay.
I mean, maybe we can get by with it for a year, but I think if you look at Tyler's maps and go back in the history of it, it used to be $300,000 when paving was cheaper, was a low amount that we paid. And we've spent, I think, 500,000 in a year before, so.
Okay. Well, we're trying to look at how our finances are gonna be with having to pay off this bank is that I'm trying to get sold.
I fully
And
understand.
I know that's gonna hit us for a big chunk.
Yeah.
So that, I'm worried about that. So that's why I wasn't apt to put way too much into it going into the fiscal year.
You can kick that can down the road a little ways, but
Just
you can't kick it forever.
yeah, just 1 year maybe.
Yeah.
Chris, is there expenses that's not listed on here that we know of that may be expenses, like projects or anything?
Retirement thing that you mentioned, the
Correct.
deferred comp,
We did not include the
Never
preferred
made a
comp
decision on.
because we didn't make a decision on that. We discussed that at the budget meeting. So that would be part of it.
When we vote for this, are we voting that you just balance it? Just strictly that you balance both numbers?
Well, I mean, we're voting to approve the expenditures and, the guess that we're gonna get that much revenue. I mean, that's what we're voting to.
A question. Under the expenditures for Needles Eye Park. The past couple of years, we've allocated $50,000. That's our matching grant. I think that Josh Sapio and brought to city council. It's on the last page. You didn't allocate any money for that.
No, I didn't know there was more. Oh my gosh. I didn't think there was any more. That was from the last phase.
We're not gonna expend that before July 1st.
Going through the ARC grant funding currently, and that's fluid and moving forward. So we will be expected to spend that.
Yeah. So that should be included in the expenses.
So that should be included. The grant match. Is there anything else anybody else noticed?
Well, another question.
Yes.
On the iPad there. The spreadsheet showed the expenses, but it didn't have the revenue. I thought we went through the tab at the bottom for the revenue instead of giving us hard copies.
There was two separate
I didn't do that.
spread unit
No,
revenue.
I think-
I didn't send them.
Oh. Just attach the expenses.
And did you allocate money for the potential loss for the bank building down there?
No, I did not. That possibly be incurred during this fiscal year, if we can ever get that closed. So that will have to be a budget revision that we have to do when we make those expenses.
Still have someone interested in that building.
We do, and I was gonna do it in my report. The building commission is gonna meet Thursday. The purchaser is asking for an additional 4-week extension. Their finances are being wrapped into a loan, I guess, that encompasses everything. So it's taking a little bit longer. But that is the only valid offer we have, so kind of hard to not just keep rolling with it. We get to a point where we can't roll any further.
Is there any money for Chief Wiseman to purchase some every year? He usually asks for 2 new cruisers. Is there anything for next year listed? So I know the opioid funds, I don't think there was a ton left in that.
Everybody probably will use additional monies collected by the police
I
department.
know we used to have that as a line item, like 120,000 every
Yeah,
year.
2 vehicles, 120,000 every year.
Right. You do use the police forfeiture for things like that, right? You do not use that for any vehicles? Okay,
Haven't never.
even the federal one?
So that's-
And
that's-
luckily, the last couple of years, we've been able to use the opioid money for the cruisers. Right. And, I mean, we don't have no more of that now, right? And man, my, that is depleted.
Right, but there'll be another deposit, maybe September,
We don't ever know how much. Okay.
we don't.
So now we're looking at 120,000 for 2 police cruisers, 50,000 for Needles Eye Park, 170,000. So where we gonna get that money?
That is a good question. We have currently, we have loan payments, if you notice the bottom of that last page. My guess is we probably would have to finance those to create, another debt. Currently paying for, cruisers, the police station, and excavator and a loader. Capital expenditures at the very bottom of that. Those would have to be wrapped into another loan, to make that happen, sir. I honestly don't know where else you would get that kind of money. The budget is really tight, guys. I squeezed the penny on, well, most of the expenses have been cut.
And did we, into the capital expenditures for the street department, did you add the other 2 trucks?
Well, we wrote a grant for 2 trucks, so we're hoping that we might get some of that money, but that would also be something that we would have to finance, so.
Do we have to have any matching money for the Virginia Street sidewalk project?
No, that's already paid.
Okay.
I think we paid that last year, didn't we? Last year, Bill?
We sent them that money in
Budget.
July or August. I will say, there is no clock building. The only things you can see is right at the bottom, that 78,000 that results in employee pay bumps. That's the only thing that's built in.
Any further questions? City Manager Meadows regarding the budget? If not, maybe we have a motion to accept this. you're not interested in making a motion at this time, we can table this.
I'll move to accept the budget fiscal year 2026 to 2027.
We have a second.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to accept fiscal year 26 and 27's budget. All those in favor? All opposed?
Nay.
Three of us.
Let's do this by hand, because I
Okay.
lost track here. Nay,
Nay.
3 nay, 4, okay. Motion is carried. Thank you, folks. All right, we're gonna move our evaluation and personnel issue anticipated executive sessions. We have some guests that are here to pick up some long-awaited trophies. Hello, welcome back. So I'm gonna ask our city manager to present those to you, if you would please.
Heather Pack, would you please come forward?
Yes, please. Thank you, Councilman Gill.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Let's get a picture.
Oh. I don't know, Chris, you wanna stand right?
Chief, do you mind? Would you mind snapping? Thank you. Oh, Brooks got it. Thank you, Brooke. Appreciate it.
How to take a picture.
Couple times.
Wait, scoot that way a little bit so the oak hill is in the, yeah.
In there, Bill.
Thank you.
Be sure and thank all your students for their participation and
Yeah.
and everyone that helped with it, parents and all, of course, we.
Thank you
sorry
so
for
much.
so-
Thank you.
Excited, thank
Thank you.
you.
We would have had another presentation, but the young lady couldn't make it. I call the group that I hang out with my minions, and we've been running around chasing meatloaf all over the town, so Black Bear Bakery was our winner. We are also on the hunt right now for the best burger in the city, and we hope to have that to you by at least May. Because there's a bunch of good burgers, and I'm gonna have to eat 2 or 3 just to be safe. So,
What about the best hot dog in the city?
you have one of those Saturday. And you made a great hot dog.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so with that said, we now move into our new business, our police department promotion. Chief?
I believe everybody has a copy of the civil service request. That is to promote Corporal Jonathan Polly to the rank of sergeant. He has completed and the need is made for March 23rd is when there's a time on it that he has to achieve, and that will be March the 23rd.
Mayor, I'll make that motion effective March 23rd, Corporal Polly to the rank of sergeant.
We have a motion and a second to accept the promotion of Corporal Pauly on May 23rd. March 23rd. All those in favor? All opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Number 7 is a resolution of support for CDS grant submission, which is the street sweeper.
We're working on some congressionally directed spending grants. And they have to be turned in by Friday. Region 4 is helping us get all that submitted. This was one of the steps to get the council's support. We have a resolution to submit to our congressional representatives, grant application for $450,000 to U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to acquire a regenerative air street sweeper to improve environmental health, public safety, and community conditions. And the resolution is authorizes me to prepare and submit the CDS request in that amount. We work on some of the details and put all that information into Region 4 to get it all submitted by Friday.
I'll move to, support the resolution, for the grant submission for street sweeping.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to send the resolution of support for the CDS grant submission for our street sweeper. All those in favor? All opposed? Before I carry that motion, please make sure you don't run that thing at 4 o'clock like you did the other one, 4 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't your fault, you weren't here. Motion is carried. Number 8, the resolution of support for the CDS grant submission splash pad.
Okay, so we've discussed this and I've played around with it through Google and AI and everything that I could find to try and come up with a good proposal for this. This would be for a splash pad that is more of a community, not a destination, one for our local citizens and people in the surrounding area, more so than just to, try to attract people. But it's for $450,000 through CDS funding, and it is for a local splash pad that would be located at Oak Hill City Park. And I actually have to pass this around. I have a little mock-up of what it might look at or where it might be. Me and Josh and Tyler talked about, there's plenty of room in there around on the other side of the basketball court, near the, what is that? It's an old concession stand or an old press box.
The old T-ball feeders.
Yeah, T-ball field. So
Now, what's the hours on that?
anyway.
Here one.
In my backyard.
Well, if it's in your backyard, you could go over there and splash in it quite a bit, couldn't you? So anyway, that's just a request of, we thought we'd try and submit, some of these things are shot in the dark and sometimes you get somebody who really wants to help you out. So, I think it's worth a try, and, I think the community would really enjoy this.
May we have a motion?
Mayor, I'll make that motion.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept the resolution of support for the CDS grant submission for the splash pad. All in favor? All opposed? Motion is carried. Number 9, the resolution of support for CDS grant submission phase 2 of Needles Eye Parks trail construction.
Okay, Josh has worked on this, and you want to say anything about it, Josh, or just?
Sure.
Okay.
This phase 2 would be to complete the trails that were omitted within phase 1 of the trail construction. So we approximate anywhere from 2 to 3 miles of trails, a number of trails, anywhere from 4 to 5 additional trails within Needles Eye Park. The trails that were omitted were essentially the downhill difficult trails. And so we would like to work on including these. We were approached by the West Virginia Outdoor Economic Development Collaborative to see if they could assist us with applying for CDS funding for the completion of these trails. So we're hoping to complete the application and get it in.
And how many trails will this be doing, Josh?
Anywhere from 4 to 5, approximately another 2 to 3 miles of trails.
So that's extra than the ones we've already got.
That's correct.
What are they, fingers off of that one?
They would essentially descend into the valley.
Well, I'll make a motion that we apply for the CDS grant submission. I guess is how that's said.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second, send the resolution of support CDS grant submission for phase 2 of Needles Eye Parks trail construction. All those in favor? All opposed? That motion is carried. Item number 10, an update on the hotel tax fire fee.
So I put together a little sheet and put in front of you there about, what could be collected. And also a copy of the one I could find that's doing this currently is Bridgeport. And they have a form that they send to their hotels, every month. Anyway, the background information is that under West Virginia Code 81313, municipalities may impose reasonable service fees for municipal services, including fire protection, when the fee is tied to the demand placed on those services. And I think we spoke at the last meeting, that the hotels require extra training and extra equipment. There is transient people there who may not know how to get in and out of there. They're just coming through the area and might not know much, and a lot of this is based upon that. Bridgeport is currently charging $3 per night per room. If you base that on what normally, most hotels are based upon a 60% occupancy, the occupancy calculation, if you include both hotels, with approximately 100 rooms and approximately 60 rooms, that is 5,400 room nights at 60% is 35,040 occupied nights. So the estimated fee you could get on that for $3 would be $105,000. Potential uses of the revenue could be that are generated from a hotel fire protection service fee, could be fire prevention inspections and code enforcement, pre-incident planning, fire department staffing and response readiness, fire apparatus maintenance and equipment, emergency response training, ISO rating improvements, and tourism related public safety preparedness. I also gave a little breakdown of what would be different if you charge $3, $4, or $5. And of course, this is figures based on 60% occupancy, which during Bridge Day and stuff, it's 100%, but during the middle of winter, it's probably more like 15 to 20% or something like that.
Well, this fee right here, now this would be monies that would go towards the fire department. Am I correct?
Correct, sir. It would be for those potential uses that I spoke of.
So that could help offset the budget, the fire department's budget with the city too. So locally, I'm understanding that Fayetteville the city of Fayetteville just looked into this also and have just passed this.
Okay.
So, and I think they may be drawing up some, their rules or whatever, how they're gonna structure it. Chief Richardson may be able to tell you more about that than me. But what this does basically is we have a levy in the county, just so people wondering what's going on. I'm gonna put it out there, right? We have a levy in the county, and our citizens pay, the ones that are in county, they pay for a service through that levy. Well, we have, especially now, we have a lot of tourism, and we run a lot of calls that are tourism related. Calls that are in the gorge, calls that are broken ankles, calls that are water, calls that are cliff falling, that basically citizens in the city, let me say that differently. People that are coming in outside the city come in and we respond and package them up and do whatever we got to do. And that is kind of a free service for them. And that's being paid out of the levy for that. So this local citizens would in essence be, their money is being paid to fund to go help that. We want to help everyone, right? No, nothing else. So everybody wants to help everybody. So what this is a tool that is law that would allow you to put a small fee per night, per room on the motel in your area. And that when they charge that, that could go back to help offset those costs for the people that are outside of Fayette County. And help bring in a little bit of revenue, and that would help offset the budget expenses of the fire department too. That could cover that. It's something that we could look into, and tonight's just discussion. I think we should look into it and maybe look in with Fayetteville and some of the other places. I think Wheeling may done it. I think you may have discussed someone at Wheeling about it, and maybe we could get with Fayetteville a model, whatever they are doing, we want to do also. If they're past it and they say, well, we're charging this amount for their room, then I think we're side by side, we should do the same thing.
Can I ask a question
Yes.
with this? Would that also include, and I may be asking the wrong question, but would that also include an Airbnb? Because don't Airbnbs provide a hotel motel tax too?
From what I read in the ordinance, it was not, it did not include the Airbnbs just because the hotels themselves being so large are the ones that really create the mass and the need for the extra training and the extra equipment. I'm not positive on that, sir, but I think I read it.
I think you are correct. If you read the legislation, and this was brought forward from one of our county legislators, an idea, because we had discussions periodically where we were providing services to the tourism related industry, from the gorge, from rock climbing to water rescues to side by sides. And it was a hollow expenditure that we had that we weren't getting a return on what we felt like was, fair to the taxpayers who are paying a fire service fee. And the Park Service does not have personnel to provide these services. So it falls back on your special operations throughout Fayette County that supports that industry. And so when this legislation was brought forward to us, we thought it's only logical that the tourism industry, the population that visits here, pays for that service. It's only logical that, they support that because they're the ones that receive it up front. So, but your question about Airbnbs, I don't think the language was in that. It was primarily for hotel motel services.
The only reason why I was asking that question is, 9 times out of 10, somebody that's coming in staying in an Airbnb is not from Oak Hill.
Right.
And coming in from out of state, it's more or less the same thing, right? They're paying a hotel motel tax when that Airbnb. Am I correct?
I was going to ask the same question rhetorically tonight, because I read the state legislation and it does not include Airbnbs. I personally think it should.
I feel that too.
The reason that's not included in that, I'm not defending it, but I think this legislation was created way before Airbnb was an item in the industry that we see now. It was more or less related to the hotel motel industry.
So that's something that we could reach out to the legislatures and say, hey, can you put this out there to revisit this? Because
Actually, I think that needs to be. I'm like Bill. I feel that is something that Airbnbs need to be added to that.
And I think if you look back, Wheeling instituted this quite a few years ago. 1983. Okay, so that's how far back.
Airbnb.
That was, there was no such item as an Airbnb back then. But we support this through the fire service. We've talked continually with the town of Fayetteville, Fayetteville Fire Department. And everybody sees this need or financially to support the tourism related industries that we do support when they're in our area.
Oh, I agree.
We think it's very positive.
Do you all receive any funding when you, like, somebody camping falls off cliff or something like that? You guys have to go get them. You don't receive anything for that either?
Yes, sir. That falls primarily in most instances, those are going to be areas that are oriented with the national
Park
park.
Service?
And unfortunately, they are tremendously understaffed. They provide no funding back to any agency that supports them other than the little bit of manpower that they have. They might work in association with us in regard to a high angle rescue or a water rescue. They might have personnel on that site, might be one or two people, but nothing financially. We support them when we're support us. We think this is a good opportunity to gain the revenue to support that part of our services.
Thank you, Chief. Anyone have any further questions?
This something that we need to make a motion on to continue to investigate this?
I would like to, if council's interested, I would like to, have a motion that we, create a draft ordinance to bring back to council at the next meeting. I can work with Mr. Bob, help create that and bring back, something that mimics what the people who have already done it, Bridgeport and such.
Fayetteville.
Fayetteville, Wheeling, and see what they have done and bring back a good ordinance that we could, have a first reading on at the next meeting.
I agree with, Councilman Gill. I think that we ought to try to at least coincide with what Fayetteville's trying to do too. But I do make a motion that we need to further investigate and set up this with the hotel fire tax fee.
Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second for our city manager and our attorney to create a draft ordinance for the hotel fire fee. All those in favor? All opposed? That motion is carried. Moving on to our department reports. Do we have anything for MS4?
You don't have anything for MS4?
Okay. You all have, do you have anything for the structural inspection board?
Yeah, I did, if council reviewed those in their packets, the results from the structural inspection board meeting. We, went over several properties, 830 East Main Street, 127 East Main, 113 Shoemate, 78, 76 and 81 Breckenridge, 108 Blackburn Street. We went over, those in the structural inspection board meeting and they were, condemned. I'm not sure, process further than that, other than, I know in the past we have, council has, further acted upon those results with, orders to demolish. I don't know if that's the case anymore, if we want to follow through with that. Funding for demolition is not in place. There is a possibility that we could take down some of those trailers with, current forces and a dumpster. I've done that before in Hinton. Of course, you have to have, asbestos inspections and all that stuff, but other than that, I don't know what council's recommendation is.
Is there still, at one time, there was some grant money through the county commission that we were gonna look at to tear down some of these things. Was that applied for?
I had spoken to them on multiple occasions. We would have to get permission from the owners first before those funds would be available. So we'd have to contact the owners of these properties and get permission from them. You have to have a right of entry for that DLAP grant money. And I think I sent to council that the state's authorized another 10 million for the DLAP grant program.
So even if they're condemned and meet all the specifications to be condemned, we still have to have the owners?
No. To use that money, you would. Other than that, you can go through the process, Mr. Fowler, if I'm correct, and you can bring them into court and force them to tear them down, or you can tear them down and put a lien on the property. Correct?
Right. There's a notification process that involves not only notifying the property owners, but also posting the property. And you go through that notification, it's spelled out. And they are welcome to a meeting to state why they wish the city would not tear down if that's the way they lean. But the appeals process is to the circuit court, not the municipal court, but the circuit court. If council deems moves forward with a demolition.
All right, any other questions?
In conjunction with this, what's the status of the vacant building register?
We've currently had one meeting. We need to set up another meeting to go over the results. I think we could probably do that near the end of the month here and have that taken care of.
All right, may we have a motion to accept the structural inspection board results? Report.
Motion. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the report from the structural inspection board. All in favor? All opposed? All right, you have read your police department report. Chief, you have anything else to add today? All right, may we get a motion to accept our police department report?
Make a motion, we accept the police department report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the police department report. All those in favor? All opposed? And finally, the fire department report. Chief, you have anything else to say?
Yes, sir, I do. We were approached by a retired member of the fire department to possibly entertain the construction of a memorial. And on your screen, you'll see the result of working with Mr. Gail Kuhn and with the Parks and Recreation through Josh and Tommy Canaday, that we have had this installed today. And we're going to have a dedication in the future. You can see it's a running log of previous members of the Oak Hill Fire Department.
It's really nice.
Very suitable, and we encourage everybody to come by and see it. And we'll work with our chaplain, Mr. Gill, in regard to having a dedication ceremony for this. So we're proud of this, and thanks to a great addition to our station.
Like that.
Trail so that as people walk by, they can walk over and look at it.
I like that. That's next to the old fire hose too.
Yeah.
And Josh and Tommy were a great component in helping create this and bringing it to fruition.
It's actually very, very nice.
Yes,
And
nice.
Mr. Kuhn has been advised that we were doing this and it was gonna take a while to get it up and that we wanted to do the fire department wanted to do a dedication, something out there formal and have him there for it. And so he is aware of that. We'll be doing that in the near future, very near future.
Very nice.
Very nice. May we have-
In conjunction with this, I know the county commission had allocated $800,000 to the Oak Hill Fire Department. 4 years, 200,000 each to purchase a fire engine. What's the status of that?
The status of the grant.
The purchase of the engine.
The engine has been ordered. Chief, you want to go over that? I mean,
Yes, the specs have been created. The product has been ordered through Matheny Fire. We're hoping to have a delivery date toward the end of the year. Our strategy in regard to our draws for the initial payment. And city manager will work out the details of the financing. But, what we're going to do is we're moving into the second year, so we will have $400,000 available upfront. And then, of course, out of our state insurance funding, we'll be paying the difference, which will be $100,000. There'll be nothing but paid out of the city general budget at all. So we're working towards, we really wanted to roll into the second draw, so we're getting an extra $200,000, but we still have the other $400,000. So that is on order. The city manager is aptly aware that we need to create that financing as we move into the fall this year.
And I've already spoken to Russ Yeagers from BB&T about, you know, the financing needs that we have as far as we wanted to be able to make one payment a year based upon that. And then I think at some point we had some extra money we had to put down. Was it like $90,000 we had to put down to
Right.
make up for the balance?
Yeah, and we can create that strategy as you choose. We have that funding available to do that. Yes.
And that'll be here by the fall, you say?
Fall toward the end of the year. I don't actually have a specific date yet, but it is in manufacture at this
But
time.
it is already been ordered and on its way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's being manufactured.
Fantastic.
Building this.
All right, thank you. May we have one last vote for the fire department report to be accepted?
Make the motion, we accept the fire department report.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept the fire department reports. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. All right, we are now to the point where we moved our evaluations, our anticipated executive sessions, items 4 and 5. May we have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make that motion that we go into executive session.
Do we have a second?
I'll second, Mayor.
We have a motion and a second to go into executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. We are in executive session. Thank you, folks.
That's what happens. It's cold.
All right, folks, we have returned. May we have a motion to return to our regular session after our.
Mayor, I move that the Oak Hill City Council returns to regular session after discussing a personnel issue in executive session with no action taken.
May we have a second?
that.
All right, motion and a second. All those in favor? All opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. All right, we are down to our section of council comments.
Got one.
Yes, ma'am.
No, for the last, well, ever since the weather kind of changed and all these extra ATVs are all over town and some of them don't have license, and so I'm being questioned, why do they have to get a license on their car and pay? And all these people are racing up and down our streets.
They're supposed to have licenses. They have license or insurance.
Chief, can you elaborate on that for us? I don't think that an ATV has to have.
I think there's no
License.
ordinance that and we just amended that
Last year, wasn't it?
last year.
It was in March.
Just these.
No, they don't have to have a license.
Just have to have the insurance. Am I correct?
insurance.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be street legal.
There's two state laws that address ATVs. And this is a combination of both of those laws. And one addresses licensed ATVs. And one addresses non-licensed ATVs.
So that is, it's not us,
It's not unique to the city of Oak Hill.
that's through the state.
That's through the state. In fact, ours is ours is stricter.
Thinking so.
We removed, one of the restrictions, which was the helmet.
The helmet.
You had to have a helmet. We removed that, but that was not a requirement of the state, never has been. But also, if it's not licensed, they can only operate from dawn to dusk. And that is not a state law. That's more restrictive for the city of Oak Hill. But there's nothing happening in Oak Hill that cannot legally happen in an unincorporated area. Now, you have to obey the traffic laws. So if somebody's racing up and down the street,
It's not as much that, I guess, it's just the amount of ATVs.
you're seeing them more,
is too
you're
weak.
seeing them more this year than you have in past, and I have seen them more. I still have seen and observed them to be very law abiding. I have not seen one speeding for a long time. I can't recall the last one I seen speeding. And you're seeing more of them,
There are more of them,
and that causes concern to people that,
yes.
just like the coal trucks
Yes.
that may or may not be speeding, but according to a lot of people, they're all speeding. But they're not.
Actually, to be honest with you, with that being said, I've actually watched some of them come through. They're actually coming through really courteous.
Yeah.
I
And
have,
you usually see them you usually see a group of them sitting in front of one of the restaurants. I just seen that they were at the Heart of Gold not too long ago.
The
A group of them.
ATVs.
Mhm. I mean, there's 3 or 4 of them. Wasn't like 20, but
So
you're seeing more of them.
If they are licensed, if they have a license plate on the back and
Mhm.
proof of insurance and all that, they can operate at nighttime hours. But that's very rare that you see one with a license on it. There are out there. We have an employee at City Hall that drives one to work, actually. That's licensed.
So what if they're non-licensed?
They're still legal. They're still legal under state law and under our ordinance also. It doesn't restrict them that they have to have a license in town because the state law does not restrict you to have a license.
And I think you see a congregation here because they come here to buy gasoline. They go to the grocery stores. They spend money here, and that's why they congregate to
Yeah, there's several businesses. Ace has them. There's another one
Oh,
Lock Galley, there's a rafting company there that rents them. They put on tours. They do come into town and do their eating and
do we collect B&O off of them?
the ones that they,
The businesses that they.
the ones that they,
They come down to Pit Row regularly on Saturday and Sunday mornings when the weather's nice and gas up all their vehicles and ATVs.
Does Ace pay B&O taxes? That was my next question.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, the ones that they should get the B&O off of. Plus, they're coming up in town spending their money. The ones that I'm talking about, what's the rafting company out of Lock Galley? Is that past Broadway? What's the name of that? Anyway, Passages to Adventures, they rent them. They don't pay B&O because they're not in town, but they do, and that's the ones I see up in town more often than any is the ones from Passages. But all them people wear helmets.
They have to have insurance? Okay, they give insurance.
I'm sure Passages to Adventures has insurance and Ace on theirs also.
I think that's the helmet deal is actually required through.
Through them, yeah, they have to.
Mistaken if you're gonna rent one.
I think people just seeing more of them. I don't think, I'm out of town quite a bit. If I see one that's misbehaving, I usually try to act.
I haven't really heard that. I guess it was just the influx just so quickly.
It's people visiting the area that's renting them. Local business that's coming into town, spending their money at our stores.
It's a little misleading too, because people hear them
Mhm.
with the type of engine and exhaust and stuff, and they hear them going through town, and they sound like they're flying, and they're really not going fast at all.
It's all due to exhaust.
It's the exhaust, they hear them, and I know people see them, but a lot of times you hear them, and it
Well-
makes you think.
I'll tell you something else too. You didn't see as many when they were illegal in Oak Hill. But when they did come through Oak Hill, trust me, they were speeding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they were trying to
They
avoid
were at
us.
side streets to stay off the police's radar, literally.
Yeah.
And and when they hit those side streets, they would go very fast to keep from getting caught. And it was a dangerous situation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other council comments?
Yeah, I do have one real quick. I want to thank, the plaque that the, fire department put up with the, members of the fire department. That landscaping around that is, not just Sadie Brash, she spearheads it, but her garden club does an excellent job on that corner with the landscaping. I appreciate it. It's an attractive.
Very
corner.
nice.
And I appreciate their efforts. They've done it for years and years, and they do it every year.
All the ladies that has it at the fire department, that corner. Yeah, they do an excellent job.
And
I kind of really look forward to them doing that every year
I
because
appreciate
they
it.
make it so pretty right there.
And Bill, I will add that Tommy Kennedy was very sensitive to what they do there and the placement of that to make sure it blended in with it. A lot of consideration was taken. Those ladies do a great job with that.
I want to thank Chief and his department because I've asked for them to ride through the city park on a more active basis, and they are, because I get calls and people come up to the bank, just with all the activity. I mean, it's nice to have the park, it's beautiful, but you get problems when you have all ages down there. Cause I had to call on Saturday night and we got that taken care of, but I do appreciate it, and I mean, it's big and it's drawing in people from everywhere, so, I just think it's needed and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Alrighty, excuse me. Future agenda items. WV 457 retirement match incentive. The CVB present data and elect a new member, and adding Sergeant BJ Atkins from the Raleigh County Sheriff's Department, along with the Davenport Centers. Hopefully, the Davenport Center here and the Fayette County Sheriff's Department will also be joining on April 17th at the amphitheater. They're doing the You Are Not Alone program. Thank you, Chief, for all your help on that, you and Detective Pack. So you all come out to that. Oak Leaf Committee will be providing free food that day for
When is
all
that?
that show up. It's a Friday. It's April 17th. It's from 4 to 10. I don't think we're gonna need anyone to close down the. We can have. All right, our next council meeting will be April 13th at 6 P.M. Anyone else? All right, well, if all minds are clear, you all prepared to adjourn?
Yes, sir.
We are adjourned. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming out.